So we're gonna do a video today about Taylor Swift. All right. I feel like she uses a lot of like she's no stranger to like spiritual, like either praying for protection or like she has like heavy like she's a habit of let's say like deflecting other people's energies away from her. Just a second. Like she's trying to just make it like this sort of cloud of, you know, like this airy cloud of like just blankness so that there's nothing to read there or something like that. Yeah, and I kind of feel like she's like saying things like whether you want to think of it as like manifestation ritual or like definitely like directing energy and like speaking something like something like activity like that. I feel like she has like a few friends that also like live this way or maybe taught her how to do this or influence her to do this. Like you can live your life in different ways. Like you can just give it over like to God, like here's the keys to my car, kind of like where are we going? And then there's people who like are really controlling about their future and want to like call the shots and stuff like that. And I'll get both of us in here. And anyway, so I feel like she's in the second category somewhat, where I think her true nature is to be trusting and like has that like inner child having fun kind of personality, but that she is it's like there's three women who kind of create these boundaries in her life, and like in a they sort of see themselves as like a supportive role, but actually it's like limiting and like preventing her from having like certain freedoms and like in a second. It's strange to explore this energy really, because there's a few characters involved. I don't know if she has like, I don't know too much about her, you know. I know like so forgive me if I'm repeating the obvious or something, but okay, is it possible she has like not like something in like a split personality or something like that? Like there's the like, you know how people say that certain people in the industry like use some forms of mind control or like it's I don't want to go all in and say that, but it's that kind of thing where like her personality seems to be in two separate places. And I would characterize one of them as more like her inner child, and the other one would be like, wild and wonderful Taylor, kind of like the the person that, like, the celebrity, and like the celebrity Taylor isn't parenting her inner child that well. Like they're neglecting her inner child. Um, and that distance that's created, like, creates these two separate versions of a person. I feel like, I know this is kind of like a weird, complex thing to describe. Like, I'm not saying she's like Sybil, or like it's not. I'm not saying she has multiple personalities, but, like, how we all have like an inner child, and like we need to nurture our inner child and have a relationship with ourselves in some ways, and I feel like that is being ignored. So there's something like that's ingenuine about like the presentation, and like, how some people at the beginning of their career are just themselves, and they can be awkward, and maybe they don't dress that well, or like they say like things that aren't polished, or things like that. And then there's some sort of grooming process that takes place, and so I feel like she's been like heavily groomed in that way, where it's like she can feel safe in this shell that she's created of like the public persona, to the point where she believes it herself. Anyway, I'm gonna just try to like look at some other aspects instead of talking about this one thing for 15 minutes. Yeah, so I feel like she has like some people very close to her, like female friends or something, who don't have her best interest, but like they have like an established, like, hey, like, hey, like they quote unquote get along, or like have similar interests, or like but it seems to me that there's a lot to be gained by being Taylor Swift's friend, in terms of like she's generous, she's kind of like an open book to them, and these friends are, some of them, like literally just taking advantage of her, like just straight up unapologetically. Like whether it's like living, staying too long, or getting all up in her business, or who she's dating, kind of like awkward crossover stuff. Okay. Anyway, yeah. So it's like she's really surrounded by this kind of like Judas energy in her friend group. But like everyone's like picture perfect, you know. Um, okay. Yeah, I'm getting like this really creepy feeling of like the industry sort of deciding like they'd had enough of her, or like her time has run out in terms of her usefulness in their mind. Because maybe she's not willing to go down certain roads that they want her to, like thematically, like in her videos, like maybe they want to push things too far, like sexually or like violence or whatever, like just themes that she doesn't want to explore because she's a very she has this childlike energy, which is nice, and not get it not like into the dark themes. Um, but she's decided to work with like the industry at a high level where they sort of demand a certain amount of complicity from their artists in terms of stuff like that. Um, Really like so many layers of uh, like spiritual sort of gatekeeping and good and bad, you know, in exploring her energy. Um, I mean, if I like from what I can see, if I were her, I would like I don't know if she's had any kids or something like that, but like an activity like that where you're like, oh, I'm just gonna spend a couple years building my family, just take a step back. I just feel like right now, in terms of her career, in terms of the industry supporting her career, it's not a good time. And the only way around it for her happiness, I feel like, is if she were to like just kind of enjoy the fruits of her labor, like in a more like solo kind of, like she can have a boyfriend or like, you know, just a trusted friend like hanging out with her for that, but like really taking it down a notch and like having some time for herself, integration of like, what was that, like this big period of busyness and productivity in her life, and to just sort of take stock and kind of go like, okay, what do I want to do next? And I feel like if she were to get into some acting projects, that would be like still satisfying her audience, like I'm here, I'm still giving to you, um, but it's maybe not as much touring. And I feel like compared to, I don't know if I've never seen her act in anything, but like I just have a feeling she might be better than uh, like Selena Gomez was in the Woody Allen thing, which I found very wooden and stuff. So it's like I just feel like she um, would do well, even if she didn't do well before acting. I feel like she could do well now, and that it would be sort of a safer. I mean, I'm not saying like stop your music career, but like just know that if you're like planning on doing some stuff, like it just feels really, the energy's really crummy from the business angle of like her label or something. It just really some uncool stuff there, that I feel like could like make her career worse or go down significantly. So it's good to kind of just learn how to pivot. So okay, what else? In terms of romance, it just feels like there's like one or two guys who are around, but it's like very the space they take up in her life is like very slim, like and their energy isn't that great, but like maybe they like do serve a purpose in some way. I don't really I don't really see her like, I don't see like marriage stuff really coming up, or if a guy wanted to marry her, let's say, or be her actual boyfriend, they would have to like have unconditional love for her, like still be, I'm still here, you know, if let's say she went on a few dates with someone else, or you know, it's just like they made their presence known, like I'm still here, I'm still in your life, like, you know, when, I don't want to say like when you're ready, but like they just are in her life, and then she'll kind of figure it out. Oh, this person never left my life, and I like them, so let's do this. Like she's very cautious about who she is with, and I think maybe because like she was not in the past and was too much of an open book, and then you know guys who are insincere can kind of just, you know, it's like you can hand someone a precious object and they might not feel its value, and they might just like decide to drop it just to watch it smash into pieces because they think that's beautiful. You know what I mean? So you gotta like watch who you give your like precious object to, you know. Okay. Yeah, so she's just surrounded by some people who don't have good intentions, who are opportunistic and disconnected from their, you know, like, you know that Kate, what's her name? Oh my god. What's her name? She's like British lady, you know, sings Wuthering Heights, whatever, Kate something. Kate Bush. I kind of feel like Taylor Swift needs to just go into the fields in a nice dress and dance around and sing and just like be, I don't know if she's a Virgo, but like that kind of Virgo energy of just like earth goddess, like, you know, just get really connected to earth and just be around wildflowers and grass and crickets and just be there, like show up to the Zoom call that nature's been like wanting her to join for a long time, like by herself and without like Instagramming it, you know. Yeah, just to integrate these parts of herself and to feel grounded and to like be like, hello, this is real, you know, like instead of dealing with like all this artifice and stuff. And if she were to pivot for a moment and just go like, hey, wait, like maybe I just want to like act in a movie, or I have a movie idea, like let my producer friend help me make it independently, and like, you know, if she's not getting the roles that she wants, she can create the role that she wants and just do it. Like even if she wanted to do like like another type of sort of Marie Antoinette type of film, or like if she likes to dress up and just do that, like about like 2 days in England or France, like, you know, like I guess that like that show Bridgerton's popular, so like so there's an audience for costume drama. So if she were to do something like that she found like fun, you know, even if she like wrote it with a friend and just shot it, like that would be better than letting her industry people who are in a crummy mood right now, and who don't want to offer her good stuff right now, or who want to like throw her, you know, in the volcano or something. It's like, hey, I'm gonna do this other thing, and then let the industry go through their cycle of like anger and and then back to normal again, and then maybe like in a year and a half or something, it might be a better time for her to tour. I don't know if it has to do with her like overexposure or like some, or just, I don't know. Like I assume like everybody has to take their turn being number one, so maybe like it's good for her to do some other cool stuff, get grounded, and then like come back her renewed self, her integrated renewed self, and then maybe some people who were like being vampires in her life, like just taking, will not be interested in running around in the grass. Or they won't be interested in making like a period film, so like those people will just wander off and find other like generous stars to like leech off of or whatever. Like let's say she stops Instagramming for a while, like they're gonna want to be in that picture, and if there's no opportunity, they have to go find someone else to like feed their narcissism and stuff. I also feel that she could write a book about like autobiography about like, I don't know, the last 5 years, if that makes any sense. I don't know what happened in the last 5 years for her besides like COVID and what all that stuff, but like, why not? Like, right? She could write that book. I feel like it would be good. And yeah, maybe that's like two messages where it's good for her to sort of focus on a few years, like not like big picture stuff, like it's describing a moment well or something, like I don't know how many people have like written about COVID. She could be one of, not necessarily COVID, like but like what she did in the last 5 years. She could maybe even not even mention COVID, but like people would figure it out because it's like, why was I at home all that time? Anyway, I'm just trying to think of any other helpful things. And I feel like she, instead of hanging out with her girlfriends, would benefit from, I don't know if she still has like a grandmother that's still alive, or her mom, or some older female family member like that. I feel like she needs to spend some quality time with, because like, that person won't be around forever, and she'll want to have spent some good time with them, to like heal something, or just to have that be like a chapter in her life that she can benefit from or enjoy. And I get like, just just paying someone's bills isn't enough. Like you like to spend some actual time with them and stuff, like front porch talks or whatever. Yeah, and I feel like her friends will try to pressure her to do this, that, and the other thing that often are like Taylor paying for it or something. But she needs to say no to more stuff like that, and yes to like, I'm gonna go horseback riding today. It could even be like riding the horse, like letting the horse walk at its own pace and not even giving it directions or whatever. Just that kind of earthy stuff I was mentioning before, being connected. Because like, does she sing? She started with country music. I don't know. So like, maybe all this time in nature will inspire her to make a new album, a country album or something like that. Because she'll have like real experience, like hanging out with family, like her family member, and hanging out in nature. That would be like good song subject. And it's not like she can't go back to playing pop music, but like it would just be another gem in the necklace of her albums or whatever. Yeah, and anyway, I really feel like she needs to do like a real inventory on these toxic friendships she has, because I really feel yucky when I look at some of them. Okay, so that's my reading on Taylor Swift. Hope you enjoyed it. If you guys can comment and make suggestions about other readings. All right, take her. Bye.